In the heart of Siberia, where the winter sun barely rises above the horizon and temperatures plummet to a bone-chilling -71 degrees Celsius, lives a woman whose courage defies her age. Her name is Aksana, a 90-year-old shepherdess in Yakutia, known in her village as the Snow Mother, for her unwavering dedication to her herd of rare snow sheep. These animals, prized for their wool and resilience, are her legacy, her companions, and her lifeline in this frozen wilderness. Aksana's day begins early, as it does for all who live in the harsh expanses of Yakutia. The wind is a constant companion, slicing across the icy plains with a shrill whistle that chills the marrow. Despite the deadly cold, she tends to her snow sheep with meticulous care, checking each animal for frostbite and signs of illness. Her hands, gnarled and scarred by decades of labor, move deftly, wrapping hooves and brushing snow from thick coats. Today, however, a sense of foreboding hangs in the air. An instinct honed over decades in the wilderness warns her that danger is near. Her warning comes in the form of a distant echoing howl, a sound she knows all too well. Wolves. Not just a few, but a massive pack, numbering nearly 1,000, driven by hunger and the relentless cold. Wolves in Yakutia are formidable predators, and at this time of year, when the tundra is stripped bare, they are particularly desperate. Yet, they have never faced Aksana, a woman who knows every inch of the land and every weakness of her flock. Without hesitation, Aksana springs into action. She knows her sheep are vulnerable, scattered across a wide frozen valley. She grabs her walking staff, a thick piece of birch hardened by fire, and pulls a long, jagged spear from her storage shed. Her movements are deliberate and practiced, despite the tremor that comes with age. At 90, she has survived blizzards that claimed entire villages, and wolves that slaughtered weaker flocks. Her strength now is in strategy, wisdom, and unshakable resolve. As she approaches the herd, the first of the wolves emerge from the haze. Their eyes gleam with hunger, reflecting the pale light of the frozen sun. Aksana plants her staff in the snow, shouting commands to the sheep. Surprisingly, the animals respond, instinctively gathering into a tight, protective circle around the youngest lambs. It is a dance they have practiced 1,000 times, sheep protecting the vulnerable, guided by a shepherd whose authority is absolute. The wolves close in, a tidal wave of black and gray shadows. Aksana's mind races. She knows she cannot physically fight every wolf. There are simply too many. Instead, she uses the landscape to her advantage. A ridge of ice and rock creates a natural choke point. She positions her flock there, forcing the wolves to approach in a narrow line, where their numbers count for less. She waves her spear, shouting and stomping the ice. Her voice, surprisingly powerful and commanding, echoes across the valley. To the wolves, she is no longer just an old woman. She is a force of nature. Hours pass like minutes. Aksana alternates between defense and distraction. She lights a small fire with the remnants of dried moss, smoke curling into the frigid sky. Wolves are wary of fire, and the smoke confuses them, giving the sheep precious time to move deeper into the protective terrain. She throws chunks of frozen meat far from the herd, a risky tactic to lure smaller groups away. The wolves, starved and cunning, are not easily fooled. Yet Aksana knows patience is her greatest weapon. Her body screams in protest. Each step across the icy ground is agony. Frostbite has already claimed parts of her fingers and toes, and the wind pierces her thick fur coat like a blade. But she does not relent. Her eyes, sharp and unwavering, track the movement of every wolf. Every snap of a jaw, every flick of a tail, every tense muscle is noted. She knows that any hesitation could mean disaster. As the sun dips below the horizon, the wolves' movements slow. They are beginning to tire, the cold and exertion taking a toll even on these apex predators. Aksana seizes the moment. Using a long rope, she creates a barrier, tying the sheep together in a tight cluster at the center of the ridge. She shouts and waves her spear once more, advancing toward the wolves. Her courage, her defiance, unnerves the pack. One by one, they retreat into the frozen mist, not vanquished, but deterred by a presence stronger than their hunger. Finally, Silence returns to the valley. The snow sheep, huddled tightly, bleat softly, sensing the end of their ordeal. Aksana sinks to the icy ground, exhaustion overwhelming her. Her body is battered, her breath ragged, but her heart swells with pride. Against impossible odds, she has protected her flock, defying both nature and the predators that stalk it. Night falls, and the aurora borealis paints the sky in swirling ribbons of green and violet. Aksana wraps herself in her thick furs, leaning against a boulder with a flock around her. In this moment, the frozen landscape seems almost beautiful, a stark reminder of both the cruelty and the majesty of the wilderness. She knows the wolves will return. Hunger is eternal, but she also knows she will be ready. For decades, Aksana has been a guardian of her land and her animals. Her story spreads across villages, a tale of courage that inspires even the youngest shepherds. At 90, she is more than a woman. She is a legend, a living testament to the strength of the human spirit in the face of unthinkable odds. In the extreme cold of Yakutia, life is a daily battle. But courage, wisdom, and determination can turn the tide. Aksana's victory over the 1,000 wolves is not just a fight for survival. It is a celebration of resilience, a reminder that even in the harshest conditions, one person's bravery can protect a world that seems utterly indifferent. And so, under the frozen stars, the snow sheep rest, safe once more, and their shepherd, old, fearless, and indomitable, prepares for whatever the tundra may throw at her next.